The galaxy rejected them. Then humanity opened its arms. Faster-than-light travel, built from scratch, had carried them across the galaxy. Now, they were finally near the systems of the Galactic Council, a group of species that had ruled most of the galaxy for thousands of years. Alex felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. This was the moment humanity had dreamed of. They wanted friends, not enemies, but the unknown always carried fear. "Captain," said Emma Lewis, one of the mission's diplomats, stepping forward. She held a small tablet with messages in many languages. "I have translated our greetings into 20 of the Council's main languages. The message is clear. We come in peace." Alex nodded. "Good. Make sure it reaches every Council world. We cannot make mistakes now." On the horizon, the crew moved with quiet efficiency. John Miller, the communications officer, checked the signals being sent to the Council. He adjusted frequencies and confirmed that the messages would arrive without distortion. Around them, the ship's lights reflected off polished floors and metal walls, but the mood was tense. Everyone understood that first impressions mattered. When the Council finally responded, it was not what humanity had hoped for. A giant projection appeared in the center of the Council chamber, showing 3 alien delegates. The first was tall and thin, with green skin and eyes that glowed faintly in the dark. The second was round and short, covered in silver scales that shimmered like metal. The third was something that resembled a cloud of shifting colors, with small points of light forming shapes like eyes. "Humans," the first delegate spoke, its voice echoing through the horizon's speakers. "You have traveled far, yet we see no reason for your presence. Your species is small, weak, and chaotic. We cannot allow your ships or people into our systems." Emma felt a chill. She had expected skepticism, maybe caution, but not outright rejection. Alex took a deep breath. "We mean no harm. We only wish to learn, trade, and share knowledge." The second delegate laughed, a sound like metal clanging together. "Trade? You bring nothing of value. Knowledge? Your science is primitive. You are noisy, unpredictable, and your behavior is erratic. Stay in your small corner. The galaxy is not ready for you." Alex could feel the crew stiffen behind him. Some had hoped for a diplomatic solution. Now they faced dismissal. The third delegate, the cloud-like being, drifted closer to the center of the projection. Its voice was soft, almost a whisper, yet it carried authority. "Do not attempt to force yourself upon us. The galaxy has long moved past your kind. Leave now and do not return." The words were clear. The Council had no interest in humanity. They did not even offer advice or guidance. They only told humans to go away. Alex swallowed hard. "Understood," he said quietly. He turned to Emma. "Prepare a formal acknowledgement. We leave with respect, but we will not forget this." Emma nodded. "Yes, sir." As the horizon moved away from the Council's systems, the mood on the ship was somber. Ethan Brooks, a young engineer, walked up to Alex. "Captain, we've spent decades building this ship, preparing for first contact, and now they just dismiss us." Alex put a hand on Ethan's shoulder. "Yes, but remember, Ethan, first impressions do not define us. The galaxy has only seen part of who we are. We will show them more, but in our way, not by force but by actions." Olivia Brown, another diplomat, joined them. "Alex is right. We could react with anger, but that would make us like them. We need a different approach." For the next few hours, the crew worked quietly, recording the encounter. Every word, every gesture was logged. The Council might have rejected them, but humans were careful observers. John Miller reviewed all communications, ensuring that nothing was lost. Even small details mattered. Later, Alex walked through the ship's corridors. He saw children, part of the crew's extended families, playing and learning languages from various alien cultures humans had met before. He saw medical teams preparing supplies and engineers testing new tools. Despite the rejection, humanity was alive, strong, and full of curiosity. On the observation deck, Emma stood looking at the stars. "It feels unfair," she said softly. Alex joined her. "Perhaps, but the galaxy does not decide our worth. We do." He thought about their homeworld, the blue and green planet they had left behind. The people of Earth had always faced challenges: oceans, storms, wars, and disasters. Every time, humans had adapted, survived, and sometimes thrived. This rejection was another challenge. They would face it with the same determination. As the horizon traveled further from the council, the crew began planning their next steps. They would not return immediately, but they could learn. They could help explore and understand the smaller, overlooked parts of the galaxy. Perhaps someday, the Council would see the true strength of humanity, not in weapons or power, but in persistence, kindness, and resilience. Back on the bridge, Alex gathered the senior crew. "We may have been rejected," he said, "but our mission is not over. We will continue to explore. We will continue to learn. And we will continue to help where we can. This is how humanity grows, through action, not words. Do you all understand?" "Yes, sir," the crew responded together, their voices full of determination. Emma smiled faintly. "We will show them one day," she said. "Yes," Alex agreed. "But not with anger. We show them by being human, by helping, by reaching out, by building. That is our strength." The stars stretched on endlessly. Each one was a possibility, a place to explore, a life to touch. Alex felt a sense of hope. Humanity had been rejected, yes, but that rejection was not the end. It was the beginning of a new path, one that would test their courage, their patience, and their compassion. No one on the horizon knew exactly what the galaxy would bring next, but they knew one thing: they would face it together. Humans had survived worse. And now they had the stars. As night fell on Earth far away, Alex imagined the day humans would return to the Council. Not with anger, not with threats, but with arms open, ready to help anyone who needed it. That day might come sooner than anyone expected. For now, the horizon sailed through the quiet stars, carrying humanity's hope, curiosity, and determination. The galaxy had rejected them, but humanity had not given up. They had only just begun. After leaving the Council's systems, the horizon sailed into the quieter regions of the galaxy. The rejection had weighed heavily on everyone, but Alex Carter refused to let it break their spirit. "We cannot control what the Council thinks of us," he told his crew, "but we can control what we do next, and we will do what humans do best. We will help." Emma Lewis nodded. "There are many species who never see Council aid. They struggle quietly and no one comes to help. Maybe we can make a difference there." Alex smiled faintly. "Exactly. Let's start small. Let's show what humanity can do." Back on the horizon, the crew began planning. Olivia Brown, one of the senior diplomats, suggested visiting planets that had suffered from natural disasters, disease, or war. Engineers and scientists worked with her to design supplies and tools that could help. Noah Turner, a young engineer, developed portable water purifiers, small medical kits, and solar-powered generators. The team worked long hours, preparing for each mission. Their first stop was a small planet called Yara. Its inhabitants were a short, furry species who lived in underground tunnels. The Yari had struggled with flooding for decades, and their tunnels were often submerged. Alex and the team arrived quietly, landing on the surface where children played near a shallow river. "Hello," Alex called, waving. The Yari looked at them with wide eyes. Some were afraid, but most were curious. Emma stepped forward. "We are humans. We want to help, nothing more." The Yari elder, a gray-furred being named Kilo, hesitated. "Humans, why do you care about us?" "Others have ignored our struggles." Alex knelt slightly to meet Kilo's gaze. "We care because you are alive. That is enough reason for us." Kilo looked at the crew, then nodded slowly. "Very well, you may help us." Over the next several weeks, humans worked with the Yari to repair their tunnels and build small bridges to prevent flooding. Ethan Brooks and his team set up water filters, while Hannah Moore and other medical staff taught basic hygiene and care. The Yari were hesitant at first, unsure if they could trust outsiders, but slowly trust grew. Children played near human engineers, watching as they worked. Adults learned new methods for farming and building, and soon the Yari were laughing again, free from the constant fear of floods. Alex watched quietly, feeling a sense of pride. "This is why we exist," he said softly to Emma. "Not for approval, not for power, but for moments like this." Their success on Yara spread quickly. Word traveled to neighboring planets, carried by traders and travelers. Humans were helping, quietly and without seeking recognition. Olivia Brown suggested that they continue this approach, helping small species who were ignored or forgotten. Alex agreed. The horizon moved to the next planet, a desert world called Solara. Its inhabitants, the Solari, struggled with droughts that left their crops dry and their animals weak. Humans arrived with water purifiers, seeds, and portable shelters. Grace Hill, an agricultural specialist, taught the Solari new farming techniques. She worked alongside them in the hot sun, mixing human methods with local traditions. The Solari were surprised by the humans' patience and kindness. "You do not take anything from us?" asked one elder, a tall figure named Rano. Alex shook his head. "We do not want anything. We only wish to help." Rano smiled faintly. "Then you are different from others we have met." For months, humans traveled from planet to planet, helping species with different needs. On a frozen world called Frista, they built heating units and taught survival techniques. On a swampy planet called Luma, they helped clear disease-carrying insects and provide clean water. Each mission took weeks, sometimes months, but the crew worked tirelessly. Noah Turner kept notes on every project. He designed tools that could be reused on many worlds, ensuring that the benefits of human help were long-lasting. Emma Lewis and Olivia Brown kept records of alien languages, customs, and stories, so future humans could communicate more easily. Alex and Hannah Moore coordinated the missions, always making sure humans acted with care and respect. During this time, the horizon itself became more than a ship. It became a symbol. Ships from other species started following, curious about humans who helped without asking for profit or power. Even small traders would stop by the horizon to offer thanks or request guidance. Lucas Gray, the ship's historian, wrote daily reports. "The galaxy may have rejected us," he said to Alex one evening, "but humans are slowly becoming known for something greater, not for war, not for conquest, but for care." Alex nodded. "Exactly. This is how we grow, not by fighting, but by showing who we are through our actions." Months passed, and humanity's influence spread quietly. On one ocean planet, humans helped rebuild coral reefs that had died. On a mountainous planet, they taught new ways to manage landslide risks. In each place, humans listened before acting. They learned the needs of the local species, respected their ways, and provided help that was meaningful. The crew began to see patterns. Species who had once been isolated were now trading with neighbors. Minor conflicts decreased. Communities that had struggled for years found new hope. Humans were not trying to control the galaxy. They were only making it a better place. On the horizon's bridge, Alex spoke to his crew. "Do you see what we are doing?" he asked. "The council rejected us because they saw only our size, our power, our lack of experience. But we do not need their approval. We are showing our true strength, the strength to care, to help, to act without expecting reward." Hannah Moore smiled. "And they are noticing. Even if they do not say it, the galaxy is learning about humans." Emma Lewis looked out at the stars. "We are small compared to the galaxy, but our actions reach far. Sometimes small actions matter more than power." One day, the horizon arrived at a planet called Kira. Its inhabitants were struggling after a long war with a neighboring system. Their cities were damaged, their people hungry and sick. Humans brought food, medicine, and construction equipment. Lily Adams, a young doctor, treated the wounded. Alex worked with local leaders to rebuild schools and hospitals. The Kira people were hesitant at first, remembering past invaders, but the humans' patience and kindness won them over. Children followed humans everywhere, curious and excited. Adults learned that humans did not just bring supplies. They shared knowledge, taught skills, and stayed until the work was complete. During a small celebration at the end of the mission, Kilo, the elder from Yara, visited Kira. "I see your work has reached here too," Kilo said to Alex. "You are spreading hope, not just aid. You are building trust. The galaxy may not notice yet, but it will learn your ways." Alex nodded. "We do not need recognition. We only need to continue. One planet at a time, one life at a time." By now, the crew had grown confident. They understood that rejection from the Council was not the end. It was an opportunity to show their true nature. Noah Turner developed more tools, Grace Hill trained more teams, and Emma Lewis documented every success. Humanity's reputation grew quietly, reaching those who truly needed help. Even the smallest species began speaking of humans with respect. They were not feared, not envied, not hated. They were trusted. And that trust, Alex realized, was more powerful than any weapon. One night, as the horizon drifted past a glowing nebula, Alex spoke to his senior crew. "We are creating something the Council cannot understand. They think strength comes from control, but real strength comes from helping others even when they cannot repay you. That is humanity," Emma smiled. "And the galaxy will see it slowly but surely." Alex looked out at the stars. "Yes. And one day, when the Council is in trouble, they will remember who we are, not as weak humans, but as a species that opens its arms when others close theirs." The horizon sailed onward, carrying humans who had been rejected but were not defeated. They had chosen a path of patience, kindness, and action. Every planet they visited, every life they touched became a small victory. And in the quiet, unnoticed corners of the galaxy, humanity began to grow, not in power but in respect, trust, and hope. The galaxy had rejected them, yes, but humanity had chosen a different path, one that would eventually change everything. One day, the Council and every species in the galaxy would see that humanity's strength was not in ships, weapons, or numbers. It was in their willingness to act, to help, and to open their arms when no one else would. Months passed since the horizon began helping smaller civilizations. What had started as a mission of compassion had grown into something larger. Humans were no longer just visitors, they were becoming neighbors. Alex Carter watched the ship's progress with quiet satisfaction. Every mission built new friendships, new trust, and new hope. The horizon approached a planet called Tira. Its people, the Turan, were tall and thin, with soft blue skin and large, dark eyes. They had long suffered from weak trade connections and lacked resources for education and healthcare. For generations, the Turan had lived in isolation. Now humans arrived with supplies, tools, and knowledge. "Captain," said Emma Lewis, "they are wary. They've heard stories of the Council's rejection of humans. They don't know if they can trust us yet." Alex nodded. "Then we start small. Actions speak louder than words. Show them we mean no harm." The crew split into teams. Grace Hill worked with Turan farmers to improve crop yields. Ethan Brooks and his engineers repaired water systems and built small irrigation channels. Hannah Moore and Lily Adams set up temporary clinics and taught basic healthcare practices. The Turan watched curiously, their eyes wide as humans worked tirelessly alongside them. At first, there was hesitation. One Turan elder named Silo asked, "Why do you help us? What do you want in return?" Alex knelt to meet his gaze. "Nothing. We only wish to help. We know what it is to struggle, and we do not want anyone to face that alone." Silo studied him, then slowly nodded. "Then we will trust you. But no, some may not understand your ways." Over the next weeks, the Turan learned to work with humans. Children learned new games and languages. Adults learned new farming and building methods. Trust grew, and slowly the Turan opened their hearts. By the time the horizon left, small communities of humans and Turan were working together to maintain new schools, farms, and clinics. News of humanity's efforts spread to nearby planets. Other species heard of humans who did not seek power, who did not demand tribute or obedience, but only offered help. Some were curious, others cautious, but many began to reach out. Alex called a meeting with his senior crew. "We are building something important," he said. "Not a fleet, not an empire. We are building neighbors, alliances, and trust. That is far more lasting than anything the Council has." Emma nodded. "The minor species are beginning to speak about humans with respect. That is something the Council cannot buy or force." One planet, called Rava, had long suffered from disputes among its small nations. Humans arrived with engineers, doctors, and educators. Instead of taking sides, the crew focused on rebuilding and teaching. They helped build roads, repaired schools, and provided medical aid. Slowly, the nations began cooperating, using humans as neutral guides. Grace Hill worked with local farmers, teaching them new planting techniques. "It is amazing," said one Raven farmer. "You don't force us to follow your ways. You only show us options and we choose what is best for us." Alex smiled quietly. "That is the way humans do things. We believe everyone can learn, adapt, and improve. We only help them see the way. Even small acts mattered." On a desert moon of Rava, Lily Adams and Hannah Moore distributed water filters to villagers who had walked for miles to find clean water. Children followed them everywhere, laughing and curious, while parents watched, slowly learning the value of planning and hygiene. While humans helped, they also learned. Each planet taught something new, new languages, customs, and ideas. Lucas Gray, the ship's historian, recorded everything. "Every world we visit is a lesson," he said. "And every life we touch is proof that humans can make a difference without conquest." As months passed, humans began coordinating larger projects. On the planet Cairo, they helped connect isolated villages with communication networks. On a water world called Nema, they built floating schools so children could learn even during floods. Engineers and doctors worked together, diplomats coordinated with local leaders, and everyone shared knowledge freely. The horizon became a hub of learning and aid. Species from neighboring systems visited to study human methods. Even skeptical traders and explorers began to trust humans. The crew realized that the galaxy was slowly changing. During a quiet evening on the bridge, Alex spoke to Emma and Olivia. "Do you feel it?" he asked. "We are no longer outsiders. We are neighbors, friends, and teachers. The galaxy is starting to see humans for who we truly are." Emma smiled. "It feels good, doesn't it, to see trust grow slowly without force?" Olivia nodded. "And the Council will notice eventually. They can ignore us now, but they cannot ignore the changes we bring." Humans also began sharing culture. Music, stories, and art traveled with them. Children on Tira sang human songs alongside their own, while adults learned simple dances and crafts. The act of sharing without expectation created bonds stronger than any trade agreement. One day, as the horizon approached a mountainous planet called Zura, Alex received a message from Silo, the Turan elder. "Your help changed us. We now trade with our neighbors, share knowledge, and solve disputes together. You taught us how to see the future, not just survive." Alex shared the message with the crew. "This is why we do it. Each life, each planet, each action matters. One day, the Council may understand that humans are not to be dismissed so easily." Meanwhile, minor species began contacting one another, asking for human assistance. Emma coordinated with multiple planets at once, planning aid missions that crossed star systems. She marveled at the efficiency. "Humans are making connections no one else thought possible," she said. On Nema, young children were learning human ways of planting and building. They taught neighboring villages, creating a network of shared knowledge. Across the galaxy, Humans were acting as a bridge, connecting species that had never communicated before. The Horizon crew celebrated small victories quietly. They knew their work was not done, but they could see results. Aliens who had once been suspicious now invited humans into their homes, shared meals, and worked alongside them. Trust was growing faster than anyone had expected. Alex gathered his crew one evening. "Remember, our mission is not to rule, not to dominate. It is to help, to teach, to connect. That is what humans do best, and the galaxy is starting to notice, slowly but surely." Ethan Brooks nodded. "We are changing things without even trying to be noticed. That is powerful." Grace Hill smiled. "And it feels right. Every world we visit, every life we touch, it grows stronger because we were there." As the Horizon moved on to the next planet, humans continued their work. They built schools, repaired towns, shared medical knowledge, and listened more than they spoke. Every action created ripples that spread across star systems. The galaxy had once rejected them, but now humans were becoming essential. Not through fear, not through power, but through patience, trust, and compassion. Alex watched the stars ahead, thinking about the future. One day, the Council and all species would understand the true strength of humanity. For now, humans would continue to be neighbors, friends, and helpers. They would continue to open their arms, share knowledge, and connect isolated worlds. Every small act mattered, and the Horizon would continue to carry them across the galaxy, touching lives, building trust, and showing what humans could truly be. The stars stretched endlessly, filled with possibilities. And humanity, once dismissed, now quietly shaped the galaxy, one planet at a time. The galaxy was vast, but humans had begun to leave a mark. Every planet they visited had stories of aid, trust, and friendship. The Horizon sailed quietly among the stars, carrying humans who had once been rejected but now were slowly becoming respected. One morning, a message arrived from a distant system called Orlin. The planets there were in crisis. A sudden solar storm had damaged energy grids, communication networks, and medical facilities. Entire cities were without power, crops were failing, and thousands of lives were at risk. The Galactic Council debated what to do, but their bureaucracy was slow. No real help arrived. Alex Carter called his senior crew together. "The Council cannot help them," he said. "They are slow, bureaucratic, and afraid of responsibility, but we can help. This is what we were meant to do." Emma Lewis nodded. "We have the tools, the knowledge, and the experience. We can make a difference." Hannah Moore and Lily Adams prepared medical teams. Ethan Brooks and Noah Turner packed engineering supplies. Grace Hill organized food, water, and energy solutions. The Horizon crew moved quickly, knowing that lives depended on them. When they arrived at Orlin, the scene was worse than they expected. Entire cities were dark, rivers had overflowed, and thousands of aliens were struggling to survive. Alex walked through the streets with Emma, seeing children shivering, families trying to find food, and elders worried about the future. "This is worse than anything we faced before," Emma whispered. Alex shook his head. "We can handle it. We know how to help. We just have to act quickly and carefully." The Horizon deployed teams across the affected planets. Engineers repaired power stations and water pipelines. Medical teams treated injuries, provided vaccines, and taught emergency care. Human farmers and biologists shared methods to save crops and livestock. Every human action was precise and careful, aimed at saving lives first. The aliens, who had been unsure at first, soon realized that humans were different. They did not demand tribute, they did not seek power, and they did not ask questions about who was in charge. They only worked side by side with local populations. One elder named Taryn approached Alex. "Humans, you are brave to come here. The Council has done nothing. Why do you risk yourselves for us?" Alex smiled gently. "Because your lives matter, because we cannot stand by when people suffer. That is what humans do." Meanwhile, small relief stations were set up across the system. Noah Turner and Ethan Brooks worked nonstop to ensure generators and shelters functioned. Hannah Moore and Lily Adams moved from city to city, treating the sick and teaching locals how to care for themselves. Children who had never seen humans before began to trust them, following their example and helping wherever they could. Emma Lewis coordinated with local leaders, helping them organize relief efforts. "We do not want to take control," she told them. "We only want to guide and assist. You make the decisions, we just provide support." In the following weeks, the humans' efforts began to show results. Cities had lights again, clean water flowed through pipes, crops began to recover, and medical clinics served hundreds of patients each day. The aliens slowly regained hope. Smiles returned to faces that had long known only worry and fear. Across the system, the Galactic Council watched with unease. Reports of humans saving entire planets spread quickly. Minor species praised humans openly, sharing stories of their selflessness and skill. The Council could no longer ignore humanity. One Council delegate, a tall, golden-skinned being named Varro, sent a message to Alex. "Your actions are noted. The Council will evaluate your role. But understand, humans, this is unusual. You operate without seeking reward and the galaxy is responding to you." Alex read the message to his crew. "They notice us now," he said, "but we are not here to impress them. We are here to help. That is what matters." Despite the praise, the work was far from over. Another planet called Luma faced flooding from the same solar storm. Grace Hill and her team worked with local farmers to save crops and livestock. Engineers reinforced levees and repaired drainage systems. Hannah Moore and Lily Adams treated injuries and ensured clean water for every village. The aliens began to understand a new truth. Humans were reliable, brave, and generous. Their actions built trust faster than any council decree or law. Across Orlin, humans had become heroes, not because they sought glory, but because they acted when others hesitated. During a quiet evening on the horizon, Alex spoke to his crew. "Look at what we have done. Entire systems saved, thousands of lives protected, trust built where there was none before. We do not seek to rule. We do not seek to dominate. And yet, we are changing the galaxy." Emma nodded, "And the Council sees it even if they do not admit it. We have shown what humans can do without weapons, without force, only through courage and kindness." Alex looked out at the stars, thinking of the countless planets still in need. This is only the beginning. Every system we touch will learn the same lesson. Humans help, humans care, humans act when others will not. As the horizon prepared to leave Orlin, the aliens gathered to say farewell. Children ran to shake hands, elders bowed with respect, and families offered gifts of food, flowers, and crafted tools. Alex and his crew accepted humbly, understanding that the real reward was not praise but the lives they had touched. Taryn, the elder, approached once more. "Your species, it is unlike anything we have seen. You act not for power or wealth but for others. Remember this. You are welcome in our worlds any time." Alex smiled. "We will remember, and we will return if we are needed again. That is our promise." The horizon sailed into the quiet stars, carrying humans who had once been rejected, now moving forward with a purpose stronger than ever. The galaxy had begun to take notice. Species who had once ignored or doubted humanity now spoke their names with respect. Across the systems, minor species started sharing what they had learned from humans with their neighbors. Farming techniques, medical practices, engineering solutions, and simple lessons of trust and cooperation spread like wildfire. Humans were quietly shaping the galaxy, not through conquest but through service and example. Lucas Gray, the historian, recorded every detail. "This is history," he said. "The galaxy has rejected humans once. Now, through patience, skill, and compassion, humans are building something no one expected, a network of allies and friends that spans the stars." Alex gathered his senior crew once more. "Remember," he said, We act not for reward or recognition. We act because it is right. We are humans, that is enough. Every life we touch is proof that our way works, and one day the council will understand whether they want to or not. Hannah More smiled. And the galaxy will be better for it, one planet at a time. Emma Lewis nodded. We may have been rejected, but now we are needed. As the horizon sailed further, the crew prepared for the next missions. Systems in need were waiting. Humans were ready to act. They had learned that true strength did not come from weapons or authority. It came from courage, kindness, and the willingness to open one's arms when others could not. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, full of possibilities, and humanity moved among them, not as conquerors but as helpers, neighbors, and friends. Their rejection had been only the beginning. Now, the galaxy would come to know the real power of humans, their heart. The horizon sailed through quiet stars, carrying humans who had been rejected but now were known throughout the galaxy for their courage and kindness. Alex Carter stood on the bridge watching planets pass below. The systems they had helped were thriving. Children laughed, crops grew, and communities worked together in ways that had been impossible before. Emma Lewis approached him. "Captain, the council has sent another message. They want to meet us again." Alex raised an eyebrow. "After all this time, they finally want to talk," Emma nodded. "Yes, they want a formal meeting. They acknowledge what we have done. They even ask for advice on helping other systems." Alex felt a mix of pride and calm. This was not the recognition he had sought. Humans had never acted for reward. But now, the council was noticing what humans had already known, that their actions mattered. The horizon entered the council's central system. Ships from dozens of species were present, some in quiet observation, others arriving to witness what humans had accomplished. The council chamber was massive, with platforms and projections showing each delegate. This time the humans were met not with dismissal but with cautious respect. Alex stepped forward, accompanied by Emma, Olivia Brown, Hannah Moore, and several others. "We are here," Alex said quietly, "not for reward or glory. We are here because we care about lives across the galaxy." The delegates watched silently. The first, the green-skinned being who had once rejected them, spoke. "Humans, you have acted differently than we expected. Your actions have saved countless lives and connected species who were isolated. We underestimated you." Alex nodded. "You did, but that does not matter. What matters is that help reached those in need. That is all we have ever wanted." The second delegate, the silver-scaled one, stepped forward. "You do not seek power. You do not seek territory. You act because it is right. That is unusual in this galaxy." Emma smiled. "It may be unusual, but it works. We act because we must, not because we are asked." The third delegate, the cloud-like being, drifted forward. Its voice was soft but firm. "And the galaxy is stronger because of you. Humans, you have shown that strength comes not from force, but from kindness, patience, and courage." Alex felt a quiet warmth. He looked at his crew. Olivia, Hannah, Lily, Grace, Ethan, Noah, all of them had worked tirelessly for years. Each small action had led to this moment. He realized that humanity's greatest achievement was not technology or exploration, but the way they had acted with care and trust. The council asked many questions. They wanted to understand how humans had coordinated aid, how they had built trust, and how minor species had begun cooperating. Emma, Olivia, and Alex explained everything clearly and simply. They spoke of patience, respect, and listening before acting. They described how small efforts, repeated across many planets, could create lasting change. For hours, the council listened. Delegates who had once doubted humans now took notes, asked questions, and seemed genuinely impressed. Across the chamber, alien observers whispered among themselves, sharing stories of the humans they had seen in action. One delegate asked, "How do you maintain this patience? How do you act without expecting reward?" Alex looked around at his team. Because it is the right thing to do, because we believe in life, in hope, and in helping others. That is enough. Hannah More added, when we see people suffering, we cannot ignore it. It is not about rules or orders. It is about humanity, simple, honest humanity. The council was quiet for a long moment. Then slowly the first delegate nodded. You have taught us something important. Perhaps the galaxy has judged too quickly in the past. Perhaps we have much to learn from your ways. Emma looked at Alex. They finally understand. Alex nodded. They understand now, yes. But remember, we did not act for this moment. We acted because it was right. That is what humans do. The Council invited humanity to join discussions on helping systems in crisis, but Alex refused any special privileges. We will assist, he said, but not to control, not to rule. We only act where help is needed. That is our purpose. Outside the council chamber, aliens who had once been wary came forward. Children from planets the humans had helped ran to greet the crew. Elders bowed, traders offered gifts, and leaders shook hands. The Horizon crew received no glory, no triumphal speeches, only gratitude, and that was enough. On a quiet evening aboard the Horizon, Alex spoke to his senior team. Do you see what we have done? We did not seek recognition, yet now the Council and the galaxy respect us, and not because we demanded it, but because we acted with care and courage. Olivia Brown smiled. It is remarkable. We have changed minds, healed lives, and connected species. All without weapons, all without force, just patience, action, and trust. Grace Hill added, and the galaxy will remember this. Every species we helped, every community we touched, they will speak of humans for generations. Even the minor species were now teaching others about humans. On distant worlds, children learned stories of the humans who built schools, treated the sick, and repaired towns. These stories spread hope, and the network of allies continued to grow. One day, Alex received a message from Kilo, the elder from Yara. Your work continues to inspire. The galaxy is learning that humans act for the good of all, not for themselves. You have opened arms that others had closed. Alex shared the message with his crew. This is what we wanted, not power, not fame, only hope, trust, and friendship. As the Horizon sailed further, humans continued to visit planets in need. Every mission reinforced their reputation. Species who had once ignored them now sought guidance, collaboration, and partnership. Humans became central not because they demanded it, but because they earned it through action. Lucas Gray, the historian, wrote, "The galaxy once rejected humans. They were seen as weak, loud, and unpredictable. Now, through patience, kindness, and courage, humans have become essential. Their true strength is in their willingness to help, their willingness to open their arms when others close theirs." Alex watched a sunset on a distant world, the sky glowing with colors humans had never seen on Earth. Children played near the shore, laughing, while adults worked together, teaching and learning. Humanity had reached this galaxy not for conquest, not for power, but for connection. Emma joined him quietly. Do you think the Council will ever understand fully? Alex shook his head slightly. Perhaps not fully, but it does not matter. We have done what is right. And that is all that counts. The Council, the galaxy, they will notice eventually. But we do not wait for recognition. We act because it is right. The Horizon moved on, carrying humans into new systems. Ships followed sometimes, curious and cautious. Traders and diplomats came to observe. Scientists studied human methods. Across the stars, humanity's name became known, not as a threat, but as a friend, a neighbor, and a helper. Alex gathered his senior team one last time before they left the council system. Remember, he said, we have never acted for power. We have never acted for recognition. We act because lives matter. We act because helping is who we are. And that is the greatest strength we have. Hannah More nodded. And the galaxy will see it. One life at a time, one planet at a time. Grace Hill added, our arms have opened where others closed theirs. That is what defines humans. Alex looked out at the stars. The galaxy may have rejected us once, but now, through patience, courage, and kindness, we have found our place. Not as rulers, not as conquerors, but as humans, friends, neighbors, and helpers for all. The Horizon sailed into the endless galaxy, carrying humans who had been rejected but had never given up. They had opened their arms, touched lives, and changed the course of many worlds. Their strength was not in weapons, numbers, or power. It was in their heart, their courage, and their willingness to help. The stars stretched endlessly ahead. The galaxy was no longer closed to humans. Doors that had been shut were now open, not because of fear or force, but because humanity had shown the true meaning of compassion. Alex Carter looked at his crew, at the planets they had saved, and at the stars beyond. "This is only the beginning," he said quietly. "We have a galaxy to explore, lives to touch, and hope to share. And we will continue because that is who we are. Humanity." The crew smiled. They had traveled far, been rejected, and now were accepted, not through demand but through action. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Strength was not in conquest, but in opening one's arms when others closed theirs. And so humans sailed on, quietly, patiently, and bravely, carrying hope to every corner of the stars. The galaxy had once rejected them, but now humanity had become a light in the darkness, a friend to all, and a reminder that compassion and courage could change everything.